Hey there, this is Matt Zinman, and you are listening to Straight Talk, No Sugar Added, with your friend and mine, Neena Perez. I am here to give you a special offer for being a fan of the show, which is a $100 gift code to upgrade your life with my Life Upgrade course, which also has a money-back guarantee to make it risk-free. Just go to mattzinman.com/life upgrade and use the code StraightTalk100 for your $100 off. This is a limited time offer only for Straight Talk fans, so be sure to check it out today. And now let's get on with the show and Neena.
Hey guys, this is Neena Perez and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Thank you so much for being here. This show is created to discuss life topics, to challenge and transform your thinking. And today I have a really awesome organization here who is intentional about making impact. And so we are going to introduce them one by one because there are three of these ladies. So it's a powerhouse episode today. So we have Lillian Maldonado, who is a domestic violence and social awareness life coach. We have Francia Elena Rodriguez Reina. She is the CEO and business coach. And Margarita De Margarita, I love that, is a spiritual and creative healing coach. And together they are Ajusta Tu Corona, which means adjust your crown, which is a platform created to assist people of adversity to cultivate self-esteem, leading to self-love by teaching to believe that they are bigger and better than their trauma. And I love that. Okay, so this is why they are here. So ladies, I'm going to have you go one by one to introduce yourself so that my audience can get to know you. So Lillian, why don't we start with you? Because I know you are the founder and co-host of Ajusta Tu Corona. Mm-hmm. So why don't we start with you and tell us a little bit more about yourself, please?
So as she stated, I am Lillian. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am a grandmother. I am the owner of Maldonado Consulting, which works with a lot of Hispanic Latinos, helping them with their taxes, their bookkeeping. I am a certified life coach for domestic violence victims. I am a notary. I wear many, many hats. I create jewelry. You can find me just about anywhere.
Right. Right. That's a long resume, woman. All right. How about you, Francia? Tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much for having us, Neena. I am Francia Elena Rodriguez Reina, and that's a mouthful, but I love to keep my full name. That's the name my mom gave me, and I had the option to just keep it short on my citizenship, and I decided to keep the whole thing. So, but I am also a mother, a young mother of three boys to men, who I'm super proud of. And I am a realtor here in Florida, as well as a referral realtor in Connecticut. I am for marketing, CEO for marketing for digital marketing services. And I am the co-host for Ajusta Tu Corona, where we love to adjust other women's crowns, our own crowns, and lift one another. And yes, we love it. I love it.
That's great. How about you, Margarita de Margarita?
Soy la Margarita de Margarita, which means I belong to me.
Ooh,
okay, I am a mother of two, grandmother of four. I am a author, writer. I'm an abstract artist. I am a certified spiritual and creative healing life coach, gearing more towards now sacred healer. Also a notary, a wedding officiant, and an ordained minister. And I also wear many hats, and that's why we are also bonded together, because we understand our crazies. I am I'm going, and yeah, I have two very popular art series, and I'm also starting my podcast and caregiving. I've been an expert caregiver for 10 years now. I was. So yeah, so I have all that intertwined. So it's all sewn into the tapestry of my soul, which makes me La Margarita.
Right.
Thank you
I
for
love
having
it.
us.
Oh, I'm so glad you are here. I, found you before I found you, right? So I was, I just saw that these women were having a very real and authentic conversation on Facebook. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. They looks like they're talking about domestic violence. I'm a domestic violence survivor. And so, that always, raises a little flag every time I see something. I'm like, oh, I want to hear about that, So it was really, it was a really great conversation you guys were having. It was a couple of months ago. I loved it. And I loved it that it was also from a Latina's perspective. I thought that was great. And then I met Lillian on a fluke, right? And so then as me and Lillian are talking, I keep staring at her because I see that I know her face, but I just don't know from where. And then we put two and two together and so on. And here we are today. So I really am grateful that you guys have taken the time to be on the show with me. I appreciate it very much, very
We're
much.
honored to be here.
We're honored. Yes,
you.
yes. It was
Yes.
divine intervention that brought you
Yeah.
women,
Absolutely.
us women
I believe
together.
that as well. I believe that. So I wanted to talk about why you ladies are here together, right? I mean, you're all from different, walks of life. You all have different things going on, but yet you have found something in common to build this, this Ajusta Tu Corona, this platform.
Mhm.
And the platform, from what I've heard in your talks and stuff, is always about teaching others self-love, but also that they're not alone. I hear you say that. I've heard you say that in the past. You are not alone, right? So I wanted to talk to you about the platform. So why did you guys come together? What is it that drew you to each other to come together and make this platform? You want to start off, Lillian?
And definitely. So I would say for many, many years, I wanted to build something like this and never really knew how. And one day I happened to go to an event and everyone at the event spoke English. And I know, like, I worked 90% of my business is Latinos. So I wanted to build something for the Latino women that I felt might be more submissive. The men in our culture are more machistas. So I wanted them to know that there was another way out for them. So I happened to go to the event with Margarita. We've been friends for 34 years. And I said to her, this is my dream. Will you join me on my dream? She said, absolutely. Let's do it. Then I happened to be neighbors with Francia. And I saw how she hustled and how she took care of her boys. And I was like, we're three empowered women all hustling. Let's join each other and start this cause. And here we are. They were on board and here we are.
What made you ladies jump on board though, right? Because it's her dream, right? So there had to be like this deep connection, like Lillian said, that there was a connection, Margarita, where you were like, absolutely. So why absolutely? What made you like really resonate with this?
Well, it goes back. I've always been a powerhouse towards first the defending and correcting people on my Puerto Rican culture. And I come from a Puerto Rican father and an Italian mother. So I witnessed firsthand domestic violence and its severity with my parents. Blood, just shootings. It was just, front row seats to that arena. And I've never been a victim of domestic violence, but I am a molestation and rape survivor. And so just through everything, I always did empowerment and life skills workshops in the women prisons. And I worked in places where I dealt with a lot of Latina women. I taught the welfare reform. So I saw the husbands who would come to the training center and be like threatening their wives from the door. They had to be there in order to keep their services, but their husbands didn't want them to go because then they were going to be open to the world around them and realize that what they were living is not right nor fair for them. So when this all came about, being raised in that atmosphere and then dealing with women in prison and free, but still imprisoned in their homes, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer as a way to have power in numbers with the three of us coming from very, similar backgrounds and knowing what it is to be held back and then utilizing the tools that we survived from and what we learned from and passing it on to those to help lift them up.
Wow, that's very powerful. Francia, they snatched you up right in the middle of the street. They went and grabbed you.
Again, it was definitely that chemistry. I met Margarita through Lillian, and like you said, Norwalk is but so big, and I'm so grateful to be raised there, to have my kids there, and to have so many lessons and so many beautiful people that helped me along my journey. So Lillian is definitely one of my guardian angels from the time I moved in next to her. And same thing, we have so many things in common, even though we come from different walks of life, like you mentioned. We are both young mothers at 14, 15. We survivors of domestic violence. And even though she's definitely a powerhouse, and I'm, she's a boss, and I'm more, very, she taught me a lot. And when she said, this is what I'm thinking about, it's something that I always deep down, inside, I wanted to do as well. I wanted to be a voice for that young mother, or young woman that's going through anything that I went through. Like, I would never want anyone to go through that ever. So you want to be that voice, but it's like your voice is so little when you don't have those platforms or those microphones, right? When she said that, I said, yes, that it's perfect. It's perfect. So, and then Margarita is amazing as well. And we clicked right away, and the rest is history.
That's so great. I actually am listening to you ladies, and I cannot believe how much my story is in your stories. Like, wow. I was a mother at 15 as well. I was pregnant at 14. I had him at 15. I was a domestic violence survivor. I also survived molestation and rape. And it's just like listening to you, and I'm like, whoa, okay, wait a minute. It's my sisters or something. I don't know. I must.
Yeah, there's no coincidences in life.
That's so amazing.
It goes to show you how many of us are out there that don't know how many others are out there.
Right.
And the reason for this platform, and I shared this a little bit with you the first time that I met you, is that this is exactly the message that we want to let other people know. Young girls do not know that there are people out there that are willing to help them. Tough love. Like, when I became pregnant at 14, my dad said, out you go, leave the house right now. And what is a 14-year-old to do that can't get a job? Her other friends are her age, so she can't go to them. And she's terrified. So I ended up living with the baby's father, who was very abusive. I was getting beaten on a daily basis. He didn't want me to go to school. He wanted me to stay home barefoot and pregnant. But my dad told my mom, do not help her. If she calls and asks for anything, you are not to help her. So women need to know that though their immediate family may not help them, though their friends are tired of hearing them say how rotten they're being treated, there is always somebody there for them. So we created this platform and what we like to call our tribe, to spread the word, to let other women know we are there for you. We're there for you. Others are there for you. If you need any one of us, if you want to reach out to our group, we are there for you.
That's amazing.
And basically.
Yeah. And one thing that we always like to add as well is to teach our young women, right? Our young girls, that what can we do to help you avoid that pain if we can.
Right. So education.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let me ask you how you started it, right? Because it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to be it, right? It's another thing to actually put it into action and do it, right? So how was that? And how did you even how did that begin? Because, it's like I said, it's like one thing to say, Margarita, you on with me? Okay, Francia, let's go. What do we do?
We just
Right?
did it. We did it.
Right?
We
Yeah.
just got together. Lillian's the planner. She's such a Virgo, right? I'm a free spirit Sagittarius. So I'm like, I'm all right, let's see. And Lillian secured a location. We figured out the ticket stuff. We figured out the theme.
Wow.
And
Caterer too, Nina, from NCC. Yeah, a chef. So I was in Connecticut. I did it for 5 years. Nuestra Cultura. I'm not doing it now here in Florida. But yeah, so I was also was able to help catering and boost my business through there. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And the thing is, the idea was born, once Lillian saw that we were on board, and then it was like planning. Okay, this is what we're going to do. And then we figured out what was going to be the theme of that year. And we had a panel. We had the mayor's wife was on the panel. And we made it happen. The mayor even came for a while, sat down and ate and everything. And it was beautiful. And then and from there on, and we had it. And then this year we had to do virtual, but 2020 was the year of virtual love. So we embraced it and we went right ahead. We didn't skip the beat with that. And is it challenging?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is it challenging? I think every idea comes with its challenges. Yeah. When you have 3 different personalities, although it's the same goal, but 3 different personalities, it's going to be push and shoving and stuff like that. But our eyes and our hearts were always on the end game of it. And it always comes out. And I think we need that. We need that irritation within one another just to say, oh, let me just get it done. And that's that firecracker that we need to light under our asses to get us going, because things happen in other parts of life. Like Lillian said, we wear many hats, but it happened, and it's been beautiful, and it's just growing.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, once you plant the seed and you nurture it, it's gonna grow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say the irritation can be a very good and productive thing, right? Like you said, as long as you guys keep your eye on the goal, then the process is just a learning curve, right? And the thing is like you guys are all, you've all been through stuff, but you're all very different people. And so bringing those different dynamics has to be extremely helpful, because you're not dealing with the same woman either. You're dealing with so many different types of women. So it's good that you have that dynamic between all of you, because one might not understand how the other woman is and how she feels and stuff like that, right? So tell me some of the things you have done now with this platform. What are some of the events, or have you had any kind of I know you said Zoom already, but have you had any like teachings or anything like that? Like, how do you go about getting women there, and what happens when they're there?
So when we started the event, we started it as a yearly brunch. So we had 3 yearly brunches, the third one being the one via Zoom. And then we decided to create the platform on Facebook, where every 2 weeks we pick a topic, we announce it, we speak about it, we have the audience ask us questions and interact with us. Our vision for Ajusta Tu Corona is to go on to the Sunflower Haven, which is to be able to create a location that is safe for women and children so they can go on to the next step in life. And the reason that we call it the Sunflower Haven is Margarita once gave me a poem about sunflowers, that when the sun is out, the sunflower is facing the sun so that it receives its energies. And on cloudy days, they face each other to get the energy from each other. So that is how we like to describe our tribe, that on cloudy days, we face each other to get the energy and love from each other. So that's why we called it the Sunflower Haven. That is our ultimate goal. We just created a group on Facebook where we will be offering teachings, actual
workshops
for people to be able to sign up and receive this information. So that is just starting.
Okay, so that's kind of like now putting all of your coaching hats on, right?
Correct.
And like and teaching women in that different aspect, right? Because it's one thing to talk about a topic, and then it's another thing to give it a lesson and a teaching, right?
Absolutely.
So the Sunflower Haven, are you speaking sort of like a domestic violence shelter type of thing, or what is that what you mean? Oh, okay. So basically almost like buying a home of some sort and having women be able to go there because I had to be in a domestic violence shelter. So I that's why I asked. That's a beautiful thing to look forward to, isn't it? So
I didn't know that they existed. I was too young.
Yeah.
So
I lived in one for a year. I lived in one for a year. It was extremely helpful to me because it protected me, right? Protected my son. But they also did a lot of like counseling sessions with me and stuff. And before I left, within the year, I was counseling, or I was helping counsel. So, things like that are pretty amazing, right? When you can take a woman who feels beneath the dirt, right? And then rise her up like a sunflower. That's a beautiful thing. So you started with brunches, right? And so so the first two were brunches and then the third was virtual, right?
Correct.
Yes.
How was the virtual for you guys? How did you, how was that? How was that connection? How did you feel about that?
It was pre-recorded. We actually got to see it before everyone else. And because we love what we're doing, we sit there and we're sobbing ourselves as we're watching it. Because we all did bits and pieces of it and then put it all together. So then we sat down with our popcorn and our wine and we watched it together. So then we're bawling, like we're watching it. We're like, oh,
it was definitely
the women that have come so far and are willing to share their story with us and, on our platform. It's just amazing.
Yes, it was definitely different. Again, it's such a social event and such a touchy subjects and stories, and that the first two were amazing. The dancing, the interaction, we had acts, we had poets, we had dancers, we had it was truly amazing. Panel, Q&A. Of successful women as well. And so the virtual was definitely something we embraced pretty good. And God blessed us to be able to be together at some point because Lillian traveled down here to Florida, and Margarita and I live in Florida. So to me, it's timing, right? Because then we would have had to fly up for the event if we would have had it in Connecticut, and it would have been different because of COVID, obviously, and it wasn't happening because of COVID. But Lillian came down, we pre-recorded, we did amazing, and I think that also shows who we are, right? We compromise, we come together, and we make it work, and the outcome was great. The panelists and the guest, like Lillian said, it was great.
For me, I prefer the live one because we are those sunflowers that needed the energy. And although the video was beautiful, the way, the timing, how they set everything up, I wasn't part of that setup, let me tell you. But the way Lillian and Francia, worked hard and cutting this and timing that, and I love to watch it. But I'm more of that social person, but it was the year of virtual love. And, we were blessed with the opportunity that Francia and Lillian came to my home. We slept on my back porch, which was phenomenal because then that gets the ideas flowing. And, the fun that we were all together during a pandemic, doing photo shoots and just thinking about all these ideas. And I think that was the beautiful part of it. That's the part that I embraced. But again, we are all very different. And although the pre-recorded video came out beautiful, because it did, and the different people that participated in it was also just amazing. My preference is always like live, but it is what it is. And we did, it's perseverance, and we persevered in 2020, and we still made it happen. It didn't stop us. Fear didn't consume us. And we still sent the message out there.
Right. And women need it, right?
And you're absolutely right. I always say, if I can help 1 out of 10 people, I did my job. I'm going to pat my own damn self on the back. Because if I can reach one person and they're going to soak it up like a sponge, then coño, that's the one I had to help.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
I love it. I love it. So what other things do you guys have lined up for Ajusta Tu Corona? Because 2021 is here, right? And we seem to be getting back to some sort of normal. Florida's already ahead of us, thank God. And so, have you guys had other visions and dreams of stuff? I don't know why, but as I'm talking to you guys, I'm thinking like a weekend retreat type thing and all that kind of stuff. And you didn't mention that, but I'm just saying, like, what other things are you thinking about to do with this platform?
That would be
exactly that.
We hadn't thought that far, but we are thinking about, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now because we're not sure if they are going to open up the United States so that we can have it in person. And we want to hold it in person, but we want to make sure that our guests are comfortable coming to the event.
Right.
So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. We are hoping also that, we all have our individual podcasts, but we're hoping to be able to create one for us where we can interview many, many, many powerful women that have been through adversity.
That's amazing. That's what I love to do too, right? Just people who have been through something who can impact somebody's life. I mean, that's everything. That's like everything. So you guys all have podcasts?
Not yet.
Mine starts when I return back to Florida in the second week in May. It's a caregiver podcast. It's called Gladiator Guru, the kick-ass bitch of menopause.
All right. What? Yeah. Okay. That's going to get attention. With a title like that, she's going to get attention.
That's right. I have a blog. It's called Magically Orgasmic. But I was a caregiver for my husband for almost 6 years. And then he passed away of ALS. And then he passed away March 2017. And in December 2017, I became the caregiver to my mom. And she just passed away in March. So for 10 years, I've been an expert caregiver and with all the emotions. And I just want to make a podcast out there and speak raw and speak real and let these people know that caregivers' lives matter. We matter. Our emotions are valid, whether they're anger or resentment or, sorrow for what, the pauses. And so that's what my podcast is about. And it's an empowering one, but I always gear all of my motivational speaking towards women. The power of pussy. That's one of my workshops that I'm coming up with. And only because I think women, we're the strongest species to ever exist and we forget. And we need to be those powerhouses to remind them, to awaken that beauty inside, to know that we're the breeders of life.
Right.
And that's what we do.
Well, that's amazing. Good luck with that. That sounds amazing. It really does. And I love what you guys are doing. So I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be doing moving forward, because you're right, Lillian. I mean, we don't know what 2021 or 2022 will bring, right? But I'm sure you guys have a lot of ideas flowing on what you want to do. And another place I found you guys was on Clubhouse, right? Yeah. So I love that because, Clubhouse, as you know, is like the next big thing coming out on social media. And it's a great way to connect with people, especially if women are going through some stuff, right? Because yes, it's good to be live with women, of course, but there's some women who are, still ashamed or, embarrassed or fearful, right? And having their faces on something can be very scary. As you guys know, all of us being part of domestic violence, we know what fear is, and fear is serious, right? Fear can paralyze you. Yes. Right. So I think Clubhouse can be a really great alternative, to a Zoom or something like that, because it helps women stay a little bit more safe if they are in the midst of it, and it also just gives them empowering voices because they're not like nobody's looking at them.
Absolutely.
Right? So how's that going for you on Clubhouse? Are you liking it there? Do you like connecting there? How do you like it?
We did Clubhouse a couple of times and then we kind of like put a freeze on it because of life. Margarita mom passing away, I having to travel for business. And then we just started talking about going back to it because of what you said. We definitely are going to take advantage of Clubhouse, because I never looked at it that way, that I forget. It's not that I want to forget, but I forget how terrified I was at that age.
Yeah.
You know, you go through so much in life and you grow, that you tend to forget some of the things, which is why we also have this platform to remind people never to give up on each other.
What days are you on when you go on Facebook? What do you guys have specific days, or do you use spontaneous?
We go in Thursdays, 7 p.m. bi-weekly. So the next one is next week, May 6th.
Okay. Thursdays, you said?
Thursdays,
7 p.m. bi-weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's Ajusta Tu Corona, right?
Correct.
Right. And so why Adjust Your Crown? Why that title?
Well, there's a saying that I had seen, and people talked about it religiously, that it would say to women, never forget whose daughter you are, and adjust that crown and keep moving. So I was like, that's so beautiful. I need to tell all my Latinas que se ajusten la corona y pa'lante.
Right. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that because of the title and stuff, that people who come to your events and stuff are more Latino than anything else, or do you get a mixture of everything?
In the beginning, we didn't get any Latinas.
Okay.
So
it's interesting, right? Because the name is Ajusta Tu Corona. So,
well, just recently I had a client tell me that I happen to know is a domestic violence victim. I said to her, how come you never came to my event? She said, Ajusta Tu Corona. I said, yes. She said, well, isn't that a beauty pageant? I said, no. It's not.
And the thing is,
but fair enough, right? It gives you it makes you think, oh, okay, there's a way I have to market this in order to get people to understand. Yeah.
And it also allowed us to look into why. And so now we're translating. So now is Ajusta Tu Corona, but we were marketing in English. We barely translated in Spanish. We tried, but so now we're trying to do both, translate it in Spanish, explain it in Spanish as well. So we can market the Latinos as well.
And that's one of my goals, is that since we're on Ajusta Tu Corona bi-weekly in English, the in-between week, turn it into a Spanish version. So that we're on 1 week in English, 1 week in Spanish, 1 week in English, 1 week in Spanish, so that we can reach all the demographics that we want to reach.
Right. Because your demographic is just women.
Yes.
Right. You just want women.
Correct.
And that's why I wanted you here, because, I think that, there's a lot of things out there for women, but I don't see too many for Latina women. Maybe it's just that I'm not looking. I just don't see it. But I think it's a beautiful thing when women can get together and say, listen, been there, done that, moved forward. There's absolutely zero reason why you have to stay where you are. And all of us have been in that place of fear, right? And you really do feel like you have nowhere to go. And you really do feel like you have no help. And some of us don't, right? But there is help out there. There is. And even just talking about a topic like this can make somebody be aware of their neighbor, their sister, their cousin, somebody that may be in a domestic violence relationship that they didn't even think about. Now, do you guys mainly just focus on domestic violence, or is it focused on other topics as well?
All types of adversity. So it's like rape victims, financial abuse, mental abuse.
Okay.
So it's the wide spectrum, any sort of abuse. And even women who are having a really hard time with infidelity. Because that is a form of abuse also.
Self-esteem, yes.
Okay, so you try to look, I'm sorry, go ahead, Margarita.
No, so what we do is we try to also teach them how to cultivate, self-love, self-esteem, really, cultivate the self-esteem. We like when I do my workshop, it's going to be on teaching them how to feed their spirit. by speaking kindly to themselves, because a lot of them stay where they're at because whatever happened to them, then they're believing it.
Right.
So then they speak ill to themselves, you know, and then the body doesn't understand if you're wounded or if you don't mean it or anything. So I think we cover, or we speak on all of them to help them learn how to jump off that wave of chaos that they've been spinning in. So we touch base on anything. There's nothing left off the table, so that everybody knows, everybody we speak to, and we speak to the groups, that they know it's all intertwined, and let's just pick it all up and find where to trash it at, and let's reveal the true you within.
That's amazing. So I want to ask you guys something before I close out. So if you had something you wanted to say to any woman right now watching, right, that you want to inspire, what would you say to one of these women out there? Let's start with you, Lillian. What would you say to a woman out there that you think needs to be inspired to move forward?
You are amazing. You are exceptional, and you are loved.
That's powerful. How about you, Margarita?
I would say you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become.
Very good. Francia?
Yes, you're magical. We are anything that's given to a woman, we can multiply, we can make better. We're magical. You're
That's
magical.
Amazing. That's really amazing. I am very blessed by your presence with me today. Very blessed. And I want to thank you so much for taking this time, really. This is super important to me. And this conversation is very much close to my heart and soul. And I'm very, very grateful for our space and time right here, right now. I know that we are not promised tomorrow. In fact, we're not even promised the next second, right?
Absolutely.
But so this second, this moment right now is the moment, right? The moment we have, the moment we are here together, the moment we get to experience one another, and to know that every one of us in this room right now together are survivors and kick-ass females, right? We're just taking names, kicking ass and taking names, right? So I'm super proud of you ladies, and I'm super proud of what you're doing and the strength that it takes to do it and do it well. So thank you for that. Congratulations on all women. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Neena.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so
Before
much.
I let you go, I need to find out exactly, for all my audience to know, where to go to find you, to support you, to be there, so give us your social media platforms and everything else. Whoever wants to give it.
Francia.
Go right ahead. Francia.
Sure. You can find us Ajusta Tu Corona on Facebook, on Instagram. We'll be having a .com as well. And our 1-800 number. Do you have our 1-800 number, Lillian?
No.
Handy?
No.
I apologize.
It's okay. I don't have it in front of me. My phone fell on the floor.
Well, you know what? That's okay. When you do get it, I will link it below on the video. So just send that to me. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So-
And
so-
may we do individual or?
Absolutely. You can do whatever you like. Give me your information and I'll connect it to the bottom of the video.
Perfect.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
And then Clubhouse, is this also Ajusta Tu Corona if you guys restart that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
gonna
so that's
start
with everything. So if they find Ajusta Tu Corona, they will find you basically,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Yay! You guys rock. Okay.
Thank
I want
you.
to thank you guys so much for being here and spending this time with me. And I want to thank you because I cannot wait to see where you guys are growing and going. I am super excited. And I hope that when you do have your next event that I'm invited, because I would like to be there to do a live on that if I can. This is super exciting. And I just think it's just a beautiful thing. And anything that I feel like people get out of their own way and out of their own messes to help someone else, to me is worth shouting to the rooftop. So thank you for that. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having
Yes,
us.
thank you. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching and listening to Straight Talk. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you find these ladies on Ajusta Tu Corona and make sure that you actually sit and watch because the content is super important. Please share and please let everyone know about this because the more women that can know and be free, the better we will be. So thank you guys for watching. This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time, make sure that you visit our website at Straight Talk, no sugar added, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes and Stitcher or anywhere you listen to your podcast or on YouTube, so you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about our show, that would be awesome too. If you like this show, you might want to check out our book as well. It's Hit Me With Your Best Shot, How I Overcame a Hard-Hitting Life. I am Neena Perez, and I am here for you. If you are looking for private coaching, make sure that you email me at hello@straighttalknosugaradded.com. Until next time.